Kyle Bittner works at night with Scott Sherman, and we've turned him into our guinea pig, more or less. Let's get Kyle to do it because we won't do it, but we want to know how it goes. So we get Kyle to do it. He's a beekeeper, so he came and talked about beekeeping. Now, Kyle, you went on a flying trapeze.
I did. That's normal, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You can watch this segment at stltoday.com, also at ktrs.com, because you went to – I didn't even know there was a flying trapeze place in town.
Yes, Circus Harmony apparently has the second floor of the City Museum.
Okay.
And then they didn't have room for a trapeze because they need a lot of height, so then they rented out this place in Union Station right next to the Hard Rock.
Okay.
It's in the parking lot.
Right.
They just have a net set up right there, and then you show up, and you are doing it basically outdoors. We got rained out the first day because that's not watertight.
Right.
And you go up there, and it's one of the coolest things I've done in a while.
All right. So how
You're not a small guy. I mean,
yeah, no, you're what are you, 6 plus? 6 foot plus?
Probably 6'2", 215.
Yeah, okay. And so you just tell me about it. What happened?
Well, we showed up there, and my wife had actually done it before in Oakland, and that's where we got the idea to do it. So we showed up there, and I started talking to these people that run it. There was two guys and a lady there. And what I found interesting to begin with is Florida State University has a circus major. These people had all went there to learn how to
Because they're a bunch of clowns down in Florida.
Yeah, exactly. And they and then they all traveled around, and the girl that was there, which I found interesting, she did the human cannonball.
Okay.
So she was telling me about how getting shot out of a cannon and going 75 feet through the air and then landing on the net. I don't know. That's something I would maybe not try.
But there was no security harness on you.
No, there was.
Oh, there was?
Yeah.
Well, what's the video of you falling?
They have the rope. You have a belt on with carabiners locked in. And then the guy, he's basically on belay, rock climbing.
Right.
So he kind of lets you down at your own speed, and the net is down there.
Oh, okay.
So he's kind of...
But the video, you fell into the net.
Yeah, but I would have fell a lot faster if he would have been...
Oh, okay.
And he did say that because of me being a bigger gentleman, I actually tore his hat off because he wasn't ready for that much weight, and when he was holding on, the rope slipped back and hit him in the face, and then he had to grab it again.
So in other words, you fell and you hurt the guy holding you more than you hurt yourself.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I would have fell faster without him.
how many times did you try this?
I wasn't very good at it, so I had to try it a bunch of times. I think it took me 7 times to finally have another man catch me.
How many times?
I think it was 7. At first, they send you through this class, and we got to do it accelerated. You go up, you have to fly out there, and then put your legs between your arms and hook onto the bar, and then fly upside down. Then you get back right side up, and you do a backflip off. So you have to do that a couple times.
Right.
So I did that, I think, 3 or 4 times because you have to be able to do it on the first try. Otherwise, the timing will be screwed up with the guy trying to catch you.
Certainly understandable. But, I mean, is this test or this class you do? Because there are some people who just physically can't do this. So you can see them wanting to try and do it, and they can't do it. Are you then tapped and said, I'm sorry, you just don't have the muscles to do this?
Well, if you can at least hold on, hopefully, and swing back and forth, if nothing else.
Okay.
And then they said they have kids 8 years old and up that can do this, and they have people, senior citizens that come out and give it a try. If they say if you're relatively fit and want to give it a try, they have no problem doing it.
Okay, so were you scared at all?
I was more scared that I was going to, 1, get shown up by my wife, and 2, I was going to be bad at it. I mean, that was really...
Well, 2 for 2.
Exactly. So all my fears come true. No, I wasn't aware. They have a harness on. You just climb up a ladder. It's like a Warner aluminum ladder that you just climb up to the platform.
And how high up is it?
I think it's 25 feet or something.
Yeah, it's still... but 25 feet, 25 feet, when you're on the ground looking up, it doesn't look bad. When you're on top looking down...
Yeah.
No, but you have the net there, so it doesn't, when you're standing out there and you're holding on, I don't know. To me, it wasn't like I was 25 feet up because the net was only, 10 feet down or whatever.
Right.
So,
But you say 25 feet, you're also 6 feet, so it's really 31 feet.
from the bird's eye view.
How much is this to do?
They have different rates. You need to call them. They're Monday through Friday there at Union Station. And they'll do 2 sessions a night. They're 90-minute sessions, so you call ahead and schedule. Or at 10 a.m. on Saturdays they start, and they have classes starting at 10 a.m. and 1, 3, and 5, and 7. You can just go to trapezestl.com, and they have all of their information, and it's really one of the coolest things I've done.
Really?
And they have Facebook, and I couldn't have I was surprised, not that I'm in great shape, but I was gassed after doing this
I was going to
7 or 8 times. I
were you
mean,
worn out? Were you sore?
I felt
Why were you so exhausted? You're just swinging on a
exactly. That's
Right.
what I mean. I don't know. I would assume climbing up there 7 times was probably a
Well,
little
you know what? And
exerting.
you're kind of inverting yourself and putting your legs through your arms to hold on to the bar.
It's not something you do every day.
Yeah.
No, and I have large bruises, actually. Still go do this, but I have bruises on the back of my legs from hanging on the bar upside down. That's not a normal position that I find myself in, I
Hey,
guess.
this is a family show.
Exactly.
Leave that out of this.
McGraw thought that it would have been great had you won a tutu.
I did think about that. Unfortunately, it was at the dry cleaners that day, so I wasn't able to do that.
You know, you're joking. Did you ever hear of somebody named George Plimpton? Which is what we're going to turn you into. George Plimpton, you know who George Plimpton
Isn't that
is?
Martha Plimpton's dad?
I don't.
The actor?
Actually,
Actress?
I don't know if
Who's
it's
Martha Plimpton?
I don't think
Actress?
so.
An actress.
I don't think so. George Plimpton was a writer. He was a man of privilege, went to Yale, but he was a writer, and he started the Paris Review, and he created this participatory journalism where he got the Detroit Lions to allow him to play quarterback.
I actually heard this story.
Yeah, he's called, and then he wrote a book called The Paper Lion, and he got the Boston Bruins so he could play goalie. He played basketball with the Celtics, and he would go and
Was he an athlete already? Or
No,
he was terrible?
he was terrible. And
He's
there's
very not an athlete.
no,
at all.
he's not at all. And there's a scene of him on the flying trapeze, and he's like a 6'5", 6'6" guy, and he's wearing a pink tutu, the whole thing, doing the whole flying trapeze.
Oh well, I didn't know.
So I mean, if you're gonna sell out for the program, let's go all the way.
Did you see the guy that caught me that weighed 135 pounds? I guess.
So explain this. So you jump on, you put your legs through your arms, and now you're flying upside down, and some other guy catches you.
Exactly, and he caught my wife, no problem, because she's a lot smaller than I am, and I'm like, hey, you think you're going to be able to handle catching me? I got it, man. I'm like, how much do you weigh? About 135. I was like, when you're not soaking wet, what is the amount? So you go up there, and you have to get your legs through on the first time otherwise, and that was the hard part I was having trouble with. And then you arch your back, which is the most unnatural thing ever. You have your legs hanging up there, you're swinging, and then you just go as hard as you can to get as far back as you can.
Yeah.
And then you look for him to find you, and you find this man flying in midair.
You're flying upside down and backwards.
Yes.
Looking for some man to grab your arms.
Yes. And as soon as he grabs your arms, you need to release your legs. Otherwise, then you'd have some contrasting problems going on.
Right.
And
but you did it.
I did. I finally got. It took 3 or 4 tries. There was a couple times we got close, and then finally he grabbed a hold of my hands and he said, "I got you, man." And I went with it.
And then what were you supposed to? Because it was sort of a buzzkill at the end. He just sort of let you down.
Yeah, there's really nothing else they can do.
You should have grabbed on back to the other trapeze and then gone back up to the other side.
I would have loved to try to do that, but that's not really.
That's like Wallenda. That's a Wallenda move. I don't know.
I mean, I love the fact that it just goes to show you what people talk about football players and baseball players. These gymnasts and these trapeze artists, they're the real athletes out there.
I can't believe, and just the thought of getting shot out of a cannon. I was amazed by this girl that was there and talking to her, and the trade secrets that they. Because I was like, well, what do you use for propellant? You know, I mean, is it compressed something or is it an actual explosion of some side? We can't tell you that. It's an all top secret, and each individual cannon shooter outer person makes their own cannon. Apparently, and they like patent them all themselves. So the guy for Ringling, he's in charge of his cannon. He makes it, fabricates everything, and the guy for that next one has his own stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get Kyle. He'll try it.
We are proud of you, young Kyle.
What's next week for us?
We're trying to set up a skydive, so we're gonna see. I haven't got all those details worked out, and then I don't know if somebody. This is really stupid, but I kind of want to get tased for some reason. I've always wondered.
Talk to Larry Connors.
Did you not see Larry Connors?
Well, hold on a second. Do you know that? What were you telling me about Heidi Glaus?
Yeah, Heidi did this thing too, and
The trapeze?
Yes, and she's a small little thing, And she was sore and bruised afterwards, too.
Oh, good.
Did she
and
do
it? Was
it?
not, she
Oh,
did it.
Did she get the catch
But it
in?
wasn't easy, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, darn.
Did she arch her back too?
I don't know about the back arching.
Yeah, I had to ask. All right. So next week is parachuting.
Hopefully plummeting through the air.
And then we should also say that if you have a suggestion for Kyle to do something, you can call us and get a hold of us here at the station. Do you have a Facebook page or something?
Well, you can, if you have Twitter,
Oh, yeah, tweet us out.
Kyle Bittner or
Or at
Kelly,
the Big 550
yeah.
or something, yeah. Tweet out, Facebook at the station here, and maybe you have something that you want to have Kyle try.
Something that's reasonable that wouldn't maim it.
No, something that's really dangerous.
Well, I was going to say nothing else seems reasonable. I mean, we're trying to get more ridiculous, not less.
the more dangerous, the better. Come on.
Come on.
I'll wear a helmet.
What kind of media personality are you,
Listen,
Kelly
you
Jackson?
have a helmet.
It'll be fine.
Kyle, good work.
Good job.
Thank you. And thank your wife for the terrible camera work she did. She's atrocious, but it was a good time. All right. 8:30, Big 550 KTR.